Welcome to Retirement Cash Flow. My name is Mike Rosica. I want to take you into this classroom with an open mind. And I really want to thank everybody for participating in the poll on what type of level you are in your retirement. Very helpful. I really enjoyed seeing where everybody is. And I see that a lot of you were looking to figure out where to start, where to begin. How do you start this retirement journey? I don't care if you're 20 years old or you're just pushing 70 right now, the way I am. You can start at any age. Obviously, the earlier the better. But I think I've come up with the best way to start out. And here it goes. So you need, if you are completely new to the notion of investing, completely new, you never really even thought of it, you know that it sounds like a good idea, but you just haven't done anything. The best place to start, and this is from experience, this is from 30 years of investing experience, you need to start paying attention to the markets. I know 30 years ago when somebody said you need to pay attention to the markets, I'd be like, what are you talking about? You mean the supermarket? Or what are you talking about? You need to start paying attention to all of the markets, even though you're not going to participate in all of the markets. Let's start off with the easiest thing for you to follow. And that is following the price, the value of silver and gold. For 60, at the time of this recording, silver is at about $65 an ounce. That's up from previous prices. That's at an all-time high. But you can become an investor for $65. And you can go down to your local coin shop and buy yourself an ounce of silver. It'll cost you about $65 or $68. And if you started stacking these silver coins up, this is how I started. I didn't have any money. I was working full-time and going to school full-time. And the few bucks that I did have, I took it and I went and I bought one silver coin. And what does that make you do? That makes you start to follow the silver market. It's that simple. And I realized that's where I started. I started following the silver market. And when silver was up, I bought it. And when silver was down, I bought it. Silver, in my opinion, is high right now. It's $65 an ounce. But I just went and bought a bunch of it because I look at it as a forced savings. Now, some of you may know me. I talk about being a horrible saver. If I've got $50 in my pocket, I can surely easily find something to spend that $50 on. But if I got that $50, I can find another $10 or $15, go out and buy a chunk of silver. I still get the rush of spending the money. I still get to pick out which coin I do want because there's all kinds of different coins in the generic family of silver bullion. There's all different. You can get pandas, you can get buffalo heads, all these different things. So you get the feeling that you're out spending money, right? Everybody gets a rush when they spend money. I don't care if you're buying a Bugatti or you're buying a silver coin. You are buying something. But you're buying something that lasts and holds its value. A paper dollar isn't worth crap. I can tell you, folks, I don't know where we're headed with the dollar, but I need tangible, solid assets. And a silver coin is a solid, tangible asset that will hold its value. If not, it may even go up in value. Hopefully it does. but I just buy it to buy it. I get the thrill of spending. I get the coin. I stack it up with the other coin that I bought last week, and I stack it up with the other coin that I bought 40 years ago, and I stack silver. I stack gold. And I keep it at the safe deposit box at the bank and a few other places just to have it available. It is a universal currency that can be spent around the world. Everybody knows what an ounce of silver is. If I go to Turkey, they know what an ounce of silver is. Wherever we end up, our silver and gold is going to go with us. And it's an international currency. And it gets you to start looking at a market. Right now, I'm looking at the silver and gold market. I also follow the stock market, not because I invest in stocks. I want to know how the investing community is thinking. What's going through the market's head? Are we in a scared, or are people investing in the stock market? Right now, the stock market is also at an all-time high, which is very dangerous, I believe. I keep an eye on the stock market just to get a pulse for how that investing community is feeling. Stock market investing is very emotional. People get scared real easy. Are people scared, or are they very brave right now? Right now, I think everybody is very brave. The stock market, like I said, is at an all-time high. I keep track of the stock market because, like I said, it is a very emotional, I don't even want to call it investing, because I think of investments as things that I can control, things that I can anticipate how it's going to be 5 years from now. I have no control over how the stock market is going to be even 5 minutes from now, no less 5 years from now. I pay attention to the stock markets, the silver and gold market. I also pay attention to my favorite thing. I pay attention to the real estate market. I pay attention not only in my surrounding area where I own property here where I live. We also invest nationwide. I want to know what areas are doing what. Now, I'm pretty busy monitoring all of these markets. It literally keeps me busy. But what it does for me, it makes me think like an investor. Okay, big deal. I went out and spent $65 on a chunk of silver. I am now an investor. Simple as that. It's a great place to start. But now that I'm not only paying attention to real estate in my backyard, I'm paying attention to real estate nationwide. And what this does, folks, it gets you to start thinking like an investor. What do investors do? Investors are looking to make a good investment. When real estate is down, everybody gets bummed out. I'm freaking ecstatic when real estate goes down. Yes, I do own real estate. I don't intend on selling much of my real estate. I have a couple of vacant lots that I'm selling right now. They don't fluctuate the way housing fluctuates. I surely pay attention to the Florida market. What drives the Florida real estate market? And because I am an investor, I know the answer to this. It's weather, it's insurance, it's where the population is ebbing and flowing to or from. Are people exiting Florida, or are people rushing in a land rush to Florida? These are the things that I want to know as an investor. I don't even think about it anymore. It's just automatic. I'm paying attention to what my friends and family are talking about in the real estate market. If they're in Florida, I've got a lot of friends in Florida. They flipping houses, and I'm constantly asking them, hey, how's it going down there? I am looking for opportunity. When you are looking for opportunity, you will find it. I'm looking for opportunity nationwide. We are invested in property with other investors in Puerto Rico. Hey, you could invest in... I had a small dollar IRA that I opened up, and my wife had one too. We had like not even $10,000 each in our thing. I found an investor who was looking for 20 grand on a real estate investment. And I'm like, yeah, let's get that money. It's just sitting in the bank. It's just stupid paper money. Let's get that into an investment with one of my friends that's investing in Puerto Rico. And our property in Puerto Rico that we're invested in is a 3-family house on the beach in Puerto Rico. It's probably one of the most beautiful places you can invest in. It is just unbelievably beautiful down there. I don't have to be in Puerto Rico to run this investment. I don't even have to go to this property at all. It's invested in with money that I've accumulated over the years. It's in a Roth IRA, and we put our money together, my wife and I, and we invested with a friend of ours that is doing a deal on a 3-family house. It's just beautiful. And we're paying attention to these markets, and we're talking to people. Obviously, I'm a big school community fan. I advise you to join some other school communities and see what other people are doing. There's people that are investing in commercial real estate. I'm starting to pay attention to commercial real estate now. It was an actual commercial piece of property that allowed me to quit my job. I'll post it in school so you can find it. I'm going to do a class on it. That's what I'm going to do. It was such an important investment for me because it allowed me to quit my W-2 employee job. And that allowed me to go out and really look at more and more markets. Paying attention to different real estate markets, paying attention to different stock markets, mutual funds, understanding, just read up and turn the frickin' TV off and start reading up on markets in general, and stay current with the current market. Back in 2009, I had my eye on Arizona, California, Florida, the Sand States. So we were calling them the Sand States, and we were buying non-performing mortgages in these pockets across the country. I was hanging out with people that are doing more sophisticated deals than I was doing. And I learned how to invest in these mortgages nationwide. It got me out of my own backyard. Now, these are all things, folks, that I learned by accident. It took me years to think about, okay, I started buying silver in the 80s. And then I took all my silver and I traded it in for a gold coin. It's kind of like Monopoly, right? 4 green houses, red hotel. And I stacked up silver, and then I wanted to get myself some gold. So I cashed in at the coin guy, cashed in my silver, and I got a piece of gold. So now I'm really focused on the gold market. And that allowed me to invest in other businesses with the gold that I had stacked up. I'm paying attention to stock market, gold and silver market, obviously the real estate market, and I'm paying attention to businesses. Now we've got AI. AI is here to stay, folks. How can we participate? I don't really play. I've got a very small amount that I play with Bitcoin and XRP. Very small amounts. I can't control that either. I can play with it going in and out. When I think it's high, I sell, and when I think it's low, I buy. Have I been right? Lately, I've been right. It's in a very flat window that I can trade back and forth, up and down as it bounces. I can't control a coin. I can control a piece of real estate. I can control my non-performing mortgages. I can control how I allocate money for silver and gold. I can't control the way silver and gold goes up or down, but it's never going to go to zero. Some other softwares, some other stocks could very well go to zero. There are going to be AI companies coming and going, being the hot ticket one day and then bankrupt the next. I'll pay attention to those markets just to see other investor sentiment. Is Bitcoin at an all-time high right now, or is it on its way down? This paying attention to markets and looking for opportunity, especially real estate. When I was working, I used to take a different route to work as often as I could to see the for sale signs. Now we've got the internet. I don't have to drive to find houses, but I've purchased quite a few houses by driving past and going, ooh, you know what? Let me call that sign. Let me call that realtor. Let me call the listing agent. By getting out there and introducing myself as a real estate investor, I don't care if you don't have a dime to your name. You can still call a realtor, get them to meet you at the house on Sunday or go to the open houses and start looking at real estate. When you start looking for real estate, you will come across every once in a while a good deal. Meaning, you've seen 10 houses, they all were priced at what you thought was fair market value. And then you'll see a property that's a little bit run down, and you're like, man, they don't really want that much for this house. Let me call somebody that does buy real estate. Maybe I can get a deal done with this piece of property. You have to start paying attention. This is the best place to start, is paying attention to the markets. Okay? Go out there, introduce yourself as an investor. You don't have to say a real estate investor or a gold or silver investor or any other direct form of investing, but start paying attention to markets. Okay? Great. Thanks for being here.